Hello and welcome back to Operation the Void. I'm your host, Forgotten Void, and this week we are going after Illinois, which you guys voted on. So, Illinois is a unique battleship. She is only available for Research Bureau. In order to get Research Bureau, you must have five Tier 10 ships, and then to get Research Bureau points, you must reset uh, ships to get the points. So, as an example, I am resetting the Japanese line, and so each time I play a ship, I get the points. Right now, Shimakaze is at 2 times 6,000 points. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just grinding up Yugimo, unlocking Shimakaze, and then resetting the line because I want to pick up Hull. So this is one way to do it. You can do it with Akizuki and Kitakaze as well. And these two lines are the cheapest. I like my torpedo boats. I have permanent skins for most of these ships. I these are the ones I've been doing, but Harugumo is also a way to do it as well. Those are the two cheapest ways. You can do it for other tech trees as well, but the two fastest and easiest are the two Japanese destroyer lines. That said, for Illinois, her main feature is her guns. She has 203 guns, 203 millimeter. So she's basically Baltimore, not Baltimore. What's the other one? U.S. tree. Buffalo. She has the same number of guns as Buffalo. She's basically a faster reloading Buffalo, but on a battleship hull. Now, why we're compared to Buffalo over Des Moines is because Des Moines has a really high rate of fire at you get 5 seconds, but Illinois has a much slower rate of fire at 9 seconds with the reload mod. No, without the reload mod. So it's closer to that of a tier 9 heavy cruiser than that of Des Moines in her really high rate of fire. So she's comparable to uh, most other heavy cruisers. I think originally they were planning on doing Des Moines guns and having a Des Moines rate of fire, but having Des Moines rate of fire on a tier 9 on a battleship hull would just have been too overpowered because she's already really strong since she has the survivability of a battleship with the DPM of a cruiser. And since they are 203s, they hit hard. The HE is already 34 millimeters of pen, so you don't have to worry about penning other battleships. And the armor piercing is the same heavy armor piercing, so they have improved penetration angles. Um, so yeah, that's her guns, and that is her gimmick. That is everything. Other than that, she is an Iowa hull with less. So Iowa hull. Everything else is Iowa 32 millimeter, 38 millimeter deck. Um, and her hit points is less than that of a normal Iowa, but that's another balancing factor. So as for modules, we have the main battery armaments because that's important, and even then they'll still get knocked out now every now and then. We have damage control because you don't need the engine room protection. We have artillery plotting room, although they say for the main battery traverse speed is the best one. What we have is the artillery plotting room, and this is because by increasing the range, your vertical dispersion is decreased a little bit. So this actually helps increase dispersion a slight amount, just slight amount. And since she has battleship dispersion on cruiser guns, you want to increase that dispersion as much, and well, decrease the dispersion as much as possible. We have damage control system mod too. It's either prop mod or damage control mod. Either works. Um, Honestly, I'm thinking of switching to prop mod because after playing for a while, I noticed that a fire only does 9,000 damage without the with the damage control mod, and she has a really good heal, so the fires aren't that dangerous. So I'm thinking of swapping it to prop mod. I'll just do that now. Um, so I'll just swap it to prop mod. So concealment mod, we will do. We do concealment mod because the one dispersion, and there's really not anything else that you can really grab here. And then we're doing artillery mod. So the reason why we're doing artillery mod is because of the dispersion issue that I mentioned. Now, some people argue for main battery reload mod, but more shells. The dispersion is better. It's straight up better. Yes, you can throw more shells in the air, and they are scary, but this has the downside of the traverse speed being even slower. So uh, that hurts because you will outturn your turrets if you take this, and you don't take the turret traverse mod. And you're not going to hit. You're not actually going to hit less, even though you're shooting more shells. You're probably going to hit less than if you take the plotting broom mod, which is why this one is recommended. So we have flags. The signals are heal, the consumable preparation for the heal and the DCP. We have AA to make her AA better. Fire extinguishing time again, and then ship HP because she has a low HP. For skills, we have preventive maintenance because her main battery actually can get knocked out pretty easily. I have priority target, even though grease the gears is what's recommended. I have priority target because I like to know if things are shooting at me. Now, grease the gears will help you not outturn your turrets, so this is also a good skill to take. We have adrenaline rush. Because why not have an adrenaline rush? We have the 2 survivability skills of fire prevention and emergency repair expert for an extra heal. Heal lasts longer, DCP lasts longer, and we can't get as many fires, and reduce of fires is getting down. We're not taking concealment expert here because we're mostly taking this into PvE. If we're taking this into PvP, I would swap focus fire training, and I would get concealment expert. Now we have focus fire training for Hermes and Cherry Blossom for those two specifically, because this gives you an extra explosion. Your reinforcement time, reload time is reduced, so you can reinforce more often, and increases your reinforcement time and increases the damage while it's active. So no, when it's activated, you do a burst damage, and so this slightly increases that. But the main thing is the sector reinforcement, instead of being 50%, becomes 75%, which means you go from 100% AA total at all times to, when you have focus fire training, you now have a total of 125% AA damage being done. So little tidbit there. That's why that's actually a nice skill. Whereas just 10%, 10 to 15% damage. No, that's 15. It's 15% A damage. If we had more consumables than a DCP and a heal, the minus 40% reload time would be nice. But since we only have DCP and heal, there really is no reason for that. For something with a lot of consumables, this is really nice. But for this ship, no. The other so after this, with the extra 3 points, the options I'm thinking of are emergency repair specialist and grease the gears, or improved repair party, so that the repair party gets off cooldown faster as we take damage. Those are the 2 things I am looking at now. So with that, we'll go ahead and hop in. So, as you can see, we are in the north section of Tough. So the spawns have changed with the addition late last year. Now, since 4 battleships can now hop into a game, if there are 4 battleships, one of them will spawn with all the cruisers down south. If there are 2 divisions of maximum 3 members and they have at least 1 battleship and at least 1 non-battleship in the division, then in both divisions, then they will all spawn south, and you will not have any battleships spawn north if all the battleships are in those 2 divisions. So yes, you can have 4 battleships spawn south on tough. I have actually seen it before. The odds are low, but it is possible. If you have 3 battleships in a division, then they'll all spawn up north, unless there's 4 battleships in the game, in which point of the 4 battleships, 1 will randomly be chosen to be spawned down south. And so you can have 2 members of the division in the north battleship spawn and 1 in the south with everybody else, and the person who's not in a division actually be up north. Or if they are a division of 4, so you have a division of 3 and division 4, then the division of 4 they will also split up based on battleship and not battleship. That said, I saw the 2 secondary battleships going south, so I decided I'm going to go north. And it's honestly, my ship is actually better suited to handle the north cruisers than the secondary ships. Yes, the secondaries are nice and they have DPM, but it takes a little while to take them down. Where this, using cruiser guns, is a cruiser killer. It very much is a cruiser killer. It's not so great against, battleships, you're farming damage. You're just farming HG, maybe AP against broadside. And you're using DPM, but against cruisers, you are a menace because you have higher survivability and you share their DPM, so they don't have anything on you except for maybe tools. So you having that, I mean, if they go on bow into you, you can go broadside to them, and they would have to go bow onto you in order to deflect armor piercing. But if they go bow onto you, then they're reducing their DPM, so you get to have more DPM than them either way, which is really nice, having such high DPM. The downside of these are if you think American battleship shells are floaty, well, these shells are really floaty. Really, really floaty. They're very similar to Des Moines shells, where they're just really floating. I think the artillery. These are very, even with them being 55. So floating. Because they are technically the same guns on Des Moines, but they don't. I guess they took out the auto reloading system that Des Moines gets, so you have the slower reload. Whereas, yeah, because Illinois and Des Moines and Salem, they all have the Mark 16, whereas the Buffalo have it's the Mark 15. So, and Buffalo's guns reload about the same time as Des Moines, and Buffalo didn't have the automatic reload. So I guess they're using the same guns, but not the same reloading system. That I think is the only way I can explain the slower reload without saying they did it for balancing reasons. Because tier 9 Des Moines reload, I think this would actually be a tier 10 if they gave it Des Moines reload. Possibly even more. And so we're turning back just in case. Just in case Kato needs help with Rooster. Also to get a little bit of damage. I was thinking that Kato had it, but you know, a little bit more damage on Rooster. Take out a turret. And so I see that torpedoes didn't do all the damage, but Kato was able to use the guns to finish off Wooster. The main reason is because Wooster has a really high DPM that, whereas Kato has the alpha with the torps.
Torpedoes, dead ahead.
And so now we're going back. So this is why going in is really difficult, because now we have the people at the bottom really need to deal with the destroyers, because if the destroyers are left unchecked, they will come up and torp everything. So not sure what happened to Cleveland, but Iparanga looks like they got torp hit them, and we were lucky enough to dodge all the torps. But they will come up and torp the ships that are not prepared to deal with destroyers. Thankfully, Illinois is not one of those ships. Sure, we don't have Hydro, but we have DPM. We have guns, and we have DPM. And we also have luck where we're not being hit by torpedoes. For now. There we go, 7 hits. Okay, now let's see if we can get the gearing. Oh look, Iparanga, does it hit it? Nope. And we were able to dodge too. And since we were focusing on not getting hit by the torpedo, we didn't check our lead for the gearing. Did we get it? Did we get it? Nice lead, but a little bit overshot.
Torpedoes to port.
Bad lead. I had more torpedoes. Do we dodge? Gearing got taken out, and we dodged this torpedo too. Oh, those torpedoes. Oh, those torpedoes. And so here's where we're just using our DPM. We're spraying and praying. And we're able to get some hits. Los Angeles took a torp. I think? No. Maybe? Maybe they took a torp. Maybe they just got set on fire. Either way, both of the secondary ships who went up and took some fire are now going in to get a little bit of top up on the heel, or either that or they're just going to stay in the heel circle. We, on the other hand, who are at full health, we're going to go around and engage the carrier as we are engaging the cruisers. So that's what we're doing right now, is because there's nothing really else to do except go and engage the carrier. Because we're not sure where the first ones are going to go, so we might as well go where we know their ships are going to be. And now we see that the first ships are going to go to the 10 line. And since they're going to be there, I'm not worried, because that's where most of our team is, and they're all still alive, except for the one who's at almost no health. And since we have a nice heal, we're going to go and see if we can shoot at the carrier. So now we're just kind of blind firing, see if we can get the carrier. What I want to do is I don't want to get too close, because I want to have an escape exit. And so we're going to use these islands just to the north of my ship, if you can see it on the mini-map. Just to the northwest of my ship. That set of 3 islands is going to be my escape route in case I need to leave. There we go. So now we see the carrier. So we're going to shoot some, see what we can do damage with. Because we don't overmatch. So I'm going to swap to armor piercing to see if it has a enough of a vertical income to not bounce. If they were 50s instead of 55s, they probably would actually have enough vertical. So seeing how it doesn't look like it, I'm trying to change the angle and see if there's anything that will let it penetrate, but it's not doing that. So now we have a Fletcher shooting at us, and the Fletcher will not miss much. At least it's not a fire flagship. Oh, that'd be just triple fire all the time. But because it's actually doing quite a bit of damage, we are shooting it, and now you have the Sherman who's shooting at us, so we're going to start shooting at the Sherman. It's just one fire, so we're going to let that burn. But since now with the Seattle, the Sherman, and the Fletcher shooting at us, I think it's time to move on. Especially since the Sherman is now going to sit in its smoke because its engine's out. Should try shooting it one more time. The downside is Raptor now has the planes up, so that spots. And so even though we're now behind the rock, the Fletcher shells just keep going over. And with the Annapolis and the main spawning there, I'm not sure I want to go back out so soon yet. Like, I'm going to have to use this rock again to stay hidden from those because I don't want to be shot at by not, in this case, it would be 6 ships instead of just 3. So we're going to go back out a little bit, back up, while the maid and the Annapolis and Cleveland cannot shoot at us just yet. See where the destroyers are, see if we can do some more damage to them, see where the carrier is. Someone else spotted the carrier. The carrier is broadside onto us, so we are going to swap to armor piercing to get a couple salvos into the carrier. Oh, we're detected. I thought the rear turret, at least I would be able to get the rock. Get them around the rock. Okay. Alright, so now we're HE. There's the Sherman. A nice 6 citadels? No, 6 hits, 3 citadels. So we're going to see if we get the Sherman with our HE. That'll be at least 1 ship down. 1 annoying spammer. There we go. We got the Sherman. Okay, now for the Fletcher. See how much of the Fletcher we can take out. Down to 4K. Okay, use the heal. Down to 2K. And I should have shot that one more, but I didn't. Instead, I have armor piercing. Ah, Fletcher, stop it. Stop shooting. Why you have so much range?
Problem solved, sir.
So like a normal Fletcher player would have trouble leading that far because because of how long it takes the shells to get there. You didn't count. That was at least 5 or 6 salvos in the air. Wow, in between the ones hitting the ones being fired. But we have armor piercing now because we are going to ambush the Cleveland and the Annapolis. Hello, Cleveland. Bye, Cleveland. Okay, Annapolis, they take a torp. Hello, Annapolis. Goodbye. And so that's where the armor piercing is really good, because you have the salvo to just delete things, just delete your cruisers for close range. And the armor piercing, it does good against battleships, but you're not going to lead. We're not going to pen we're not going to pen the belt, we're not going to pen the Citadel. Right now we're just shooting to do damage. And the Seattle exchanges. I guess it's time to say hello to the Seattle. Okay, Seattle, it's your turn. That was a double fire, so we'll use our DCP. Come here, Seattle. And it's time to say hello to the slightly bigger guns. And we get some pets. But it's okay, we fire every 9 seconds. So unlike a normal battleships, we don't mind overpens. We'll just shoot again. And again. And again. Until they are no more. There we go. There's a Citadel. More black ribbons. More. And we're back to a double fire. There we go. 3 black ribbons. Now the Annapolis is shooting at us. Okay, Annapolis. It's your turn. You are shooting at us and I don't like it. So it's your turn to take damage. As we shoot back. There we go, there's another black ribbon. Oh no, something's looking at us. At first, I thought this was the main looking at us. And so I'm turning in as if it were the main. And then I see the shells. I'm a little bit less worried as I'm trying to delete the Annapolis, but then I say, nope, nope, enough. Enough is enough. You should have died long ago. And torps. It's not expected torps. But we are able to get that Fletcher. So we're able to clear that side. We got 7 kills. If the destroyers had not sent torps our way, we probably would have been fine. In fact, we would have been more than fine. It was just that one torp, one unlucky torp. It's karma for dodging all those other torps at the beginning, and then when we actually needed to dodge a torp, we were broadside on and had no chance of dodging it at all. And it went right for us. But at the same time, you know, okay, our team is now dropping like flies. And we win. As our team was dropping like flies at the very end, due to who knows what, everybody has a different reason, we win. So we were able to get 5 stars with that. So 7 kills, 21 citadels, 274 shell hits. So this is where she shines in the main battery. If you ever have a battleship main battery hit for some reason or another, she is the best one to get main battery hits. Following her is Mecklenburg. We are second on the team, with one of the other battleships getting first, because both of the other battleships are demented and do lots of damage and really easy to get first place in them. So get the 2 people who got better than the other battleship. It's a combination of us doing better and them doing not as well as they could have. So as you see, we mostly went after cruisers and destroyers. We did a little bit to the main, but most of our damage was to cruisers and destroyers, and this is because that is where the juicier XP is. If you destroy more cruisers and destroyers, you get more XP per damage you do than if you were to just farm a battleship or 2. because we only did a battleship or two's worth of HP, but it was all spread out into cruisers and destroyers. And we took a bit of damage too, but eh, eh. And we with green boosters we made 500k in credits, so a decent amount. It does well as a premium. It has its unique niche. It has the highest DPM of any battleship due to, I believe it has the highest DPM of any battleship. The only thing that would come close would be Mecklenburg, because Mecklenburg also has really high DPM with all those shells and a pretty low reload. But it probably, if I'm correct, it would have a lower HE DPM, but comparable, if not higher, armor piercing DPM because their AP shells do higher damage, the German ones, whereas the HE and AP are more or less normal, if not slightly above average for armor piercing on the American heavy cruiser shells. That said, if you like this video, I hope and please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos as they come out, click that subscribe button. But you don't have to if you don't want to. That said, I do hope to see you again next week. Have a good one.